Hi, welcome back to Talking About Success. I'm your host, Jack Canfield. My next guest, Rob Zembroski, is a wonderful physician. He specializes in functional medicine, chiropractic neurology, we should talk about what that means, and clinical nutrition. More importantly, he's written this wonderful book called Rebuild, 5 Proven Steps to Move from Diagnosis to Recovery and Be Healthier Than Before. We're going to talk about that book. He's appeared on Fox News. He's been featured in Men's Health, Reader's Digest, Muscle and Fitness, and Goop, which is, we'll talk about that. It's a name that I hadn't heard before. And as I said, he's the author of this book, which is really why he's here. And you wrote this book out of your own personal confrontation with your own health crisis, your own journey. Let's talk about how did you come to write this book?
So I didn't, Jack, I never intended to write a book. However, after pushing the limits of crisis care to basically save my life from a cancer diagnosis, I had 7 months of chemo, I had 4 weeks of radiation, then I had a surgeon crack open my chest to take this tumor out. When I got done with it all, I went to my medical team and I said, what do I do to, the disease is gone, if you will, but what do I do to restore my health? How do I bring myself back to a new level? And they offered me nothing. And so I went to other professionals, I read tons of books, and there was just nothing really comprehensive that I could use. So I dove into the research, and I created a plan that allowed me to restore my health to a level that maybe was better than it was before. And so what I realized, which was pretty remarkable, was all chronic health issues. So I'm researching cancer, it led me into heart disease. Heart disease led me into obesity, which led me into autoimmune diseases. So all of these chronic health issues have a common link. And I said, well, if this worked for me and transformed my health, it's going to work for my patients. So it did. So people with cardiovascular inflammation, it improved, dementia improved, blood sugars improved. It was pretty remarkable. And so my patient said to me, please continue your research, and now it's time to write a book. So I guess I wrote the book because I wanted to provide accurate information on chronic health issues, get rid of some of the confusion out there on it. But maybe more important in my mind is writing Rebuild allowed me to not just impact those who I saw in my clinic, but I'd have a greater reach. I can impact the lives of a lot more people. And so, Jack, I guess rebuilding people became my calling.
Mm-hmm. Now, I've read almost all of the book, and I love it. There's so much in there. It's like it's nutrition, it's exercise, it's building your muscles back after you've been atrophying, like from your chest recovery and all that. So I just want to let people know, it's for me who's not rebuilding. I think as a building it should be build and rebuild, because basically you can avoid all these diseases as well. I mean, you talk about diabetes, you talk about cancer. I don't want to get those things, and I think the same things that rebuild from them would keep you from getting them. Would you agree with that?
100%. And I think the point is it's not just a book about recovery, but if you rebuild, if you will, or you work on the internal networks and systems of your body with these 5 actions, you can prevent those things. And it's, people will talk about preventative medicine, but the reality is there's so much confusion behind it, and the action steps in there really do allow you to have full control over all of the systems. So the idea is to rebuild the body to prevent disease. I mean, why would you want to get diagnosed with a condition and then say, oh my God, now what?
Exactly.
Right? Which how many millions of people do? I mean, 95% of the global population have a chronic health issue.
Yeah. Someone once said we're a heart attack culture with a cancer mentality.
No question.
Meaning that most people, if you have a heart attack, it gets your attention and you change, you stop smoking, you start exercising, you eat less bad things and so forth. But what sneaks up on you slowly is this chronic illness.
So, exactly. And culture has been conditioned to say, I treat what we find, not thinking about health. So as we formulate this TED Talk, health is an abstract thing until you lose it. So people won't actually take action on themselves until there's a crisis. Yeah, but you had all this time to prevent all these things from happening, but it's not the culture we live in. Right. It's not the way we think.
Right.
Why would we go get gasoline the night before a hurricane or get food before a snowstorm? Maybe it's just inherent to us.
Now, a lot of people think their genetics are what control their health. What's your point of view about that?
I agree to a certain extent. Yes, there's genetic issues and genetic health problems out there, But the reality is, and some people don't like to hear us, I just felt it in my heart to say that disease is really self-inflicted for most people. We don't innocently go out and try to destroy ourselves, but the reality is things that we do or we may not be doing set the stage for disease. So it's not just genes per se as a code, but it's what we do to those genes that either turn on healthy genes or turn on disease-causing genes, which then dictate what happens to us.
Mm-hmm. Now, when you wrote this book, who did you have in mind as your readers? I mean, everybody, people that are a certain age group. Who does this book help?
So, if you have two legs, or you don't,
if you're breathing,
if your heart beats, this book's for you. No, but basically, it's for anybody who wants to prevent a health issue or disease. It's for anybody who may be looking for answers and they can't find answers based on a chronic health issue. It also may be for someone who's been told it's all in your genes, it's from your family, and it may be just for somebody who just wants to take their health to a whole new level. You don't have to use it because I've been diagnosed with something, but you can. It's just it's a book of recovery in a lot of different ways. As I say, reframe your mind, rebuild your body. It also helps you reframe your mind about how you think about your health, how you think about nutrition, and all these things out there that contribute to our health.
Now, there are a lot of books out there that have prescriptions, and you've got recipes for the right foods you should be eating to make it easy for people to actually do it. You've got exercises, you've got information on nutrition and vitamins and supplements and all that. What makes your book unique?
I think if I were to say what makes it unique, as to your point, a lot of books or programs are myopic, right? There's a single target, a single focus, a single target kind of thing. What makes Rebuild unique is it's a complete plan. It's a roadmap from start to finish that allows someone to create a personal plan unique to their needs. Your genetic blueprint is different than mine. So you should perhaps, and readers or listeners should perhaps figure out what you need to do for yourself. And so I've included information on all the diseases, conditions like cancer, heart disease, diabetes, Alzheimer's. Those conditions are unique to us as individuals and our genetic blueprint. And the reason behind those conditions are also unique. So it's unique in the sense, or Rebuild is unique in the sense that it allows the reader to create a plan unique to their specific health issues.
Very good. If someone watching this is out there and they've got a chronic condition or they're dealing with any of the things you just talked about, and they were sitting here in the studio with us, what advice would you give them to get jump-started?
I guess I could say you have to have a vision for what you want. You have to have, in my mind, or what I tell people is like, you have to have your mental health finish line. You have to see where that finish line is. And perhaps your vision is to get lean and mean and get more fit. Perhaps you want to get over medications or get through your medical treatments more effectively without toxicity. Perhaps you just want to take your health to a whole new level, or perhaps you want to overcome disease. But you must have a visual state of mind. You must see that in your mind. And something else that I think people should understand, it's important, is like a diagnosis isn't a destiny. It's an opportunity, at least I think it's an opportunity to pivot your lifestyle choices into someplace more of where you want to be in your wellness. And as you said in the success principles, you must act. And I just tell people, if you're going to act, read Rebuild, use it as a roadmap, and perhaps come back better than you were before.
Very good. You're sitting here, a specimen of good health. So, I mean, look at you. You're dynamic, you're vibrant, your skin looks great, you're physically fit, etc. What does your daily life look like in terms of Rebuild, your diet, your exercise, etc.?
So, I mean, I basically, my day is waking up and eating healthful food, good proteins and plant-based foods. I take an incredible amount of food to work with me. I tell people fast food is prepared food, or maybe prepared food is fast food, so there's no excuse why people can't go with good nutrition to work. I basically work out 4 to 5 times a week for 30, 45 minutes, and that's really all it takes to get yourself where you want to be physically. I keep my stress down. I mean, I defeated the Grim Reaper once. My time will come again. So I have a different perspective on stress. I don't see things stressful like I did in the past, which contributed to my sickness, but I just have a different outlook on life, and I have a different perspective on life that maybe people don't, but I don't want you to have the perspective that I learned to have. So I get 7 to 8 hours of sleep. I regulate my stress. I get some good exercise. I mean, it's pretty basic principles.
Do you drink a lot of water?
I do.
I think that's one of the things I find is that a lot of, I read a book once called You're Dying of Thirst, that most people are underhydrated.
Absolutely. And people don't realize that a lack of water, not that you're dehydrated where your mouth is dry, but your urine color changes dark, you're dehydrated, right? And people say, well, how much water should I drink? And it's the typical scenario is drink half of your body weight in ounces. So whether people do that or not, who knows? But yes, water is a big deal. Plus it helps digestive enzymes. And some of the people don't know that actually drinking water helps you burn fat, metabolize your fat more quickly.
Very good, very good. Well, I wish we had more time. We don't, unfortunately. So the book is Rebuild, and I love this book. It's literally, I got it before you got here, and I started reading it, and I just fell in love with it. It sits next to my toilet. I read about 20 pages a day, and I just find this. I'm going to read one thing from the back of the book. All of you know Joan London. She was on Good Morning America. She says, after my breast cancer diagnosis, Dr. Z taught me how to modify my diet and recommended highly effective yet realistic workout routines. Week after week, my oncologists were impressed. Not only have I remained strong and fit, I have substantially decreased my body fat and weight. Whether or not you're dealing with a health crisis, Rebuild is an invaluable resource to anyone navigating his or her own health journey, and I would agree with that. So I want to thank you very much for joining us. If you want to be successful in your body, in your mind, as well as with finances and relationships and all that, this is a book that will help you do that. So stick around. We'll be right back after this message.